Hi, everybody, and welcome back to our webinar series discussing EnerGov and Citizen Self-Service, our CSS permitting, licensing, and planning portal. Welcome. We're happy to have you. This session will be recorded, and we will take questions towards the end of the session. What you can expect today, we will review very high level some of the issues that many of our customers have been experiencing. We'll also show you how to schedule inspections from your workflow. And then we were going to toss it over today to our licensing division to talk about BTRs, as well as the planning and zoning department. So we have myself, Jane Decker, with Kenya Palau from licensing, and Elizabeth Alvarez, as well as my cohort, Mark Haggerty. And thank you to IT for helping us put this all together. So very high level, we know some of our customers have been experiencing issues since our go live date of 3/22. Some of our processes have gotten what we're calling just stuck. So if you're having those issues, all we ask is that you let us know and email us some of those issues, and that way we can distribute it to our team and make sure you get back on track. Some of those issues have to do with reworks. So if you were in the old system and you were ready to submit corrections and perhaps you had uploaded them to an SFTP site, some of those processes didn't make it into the new system. So we have to manually reattach those plans and drawings in the new system in order to kick off that round of review. And that does take a little bit of time. So we just ask for your patience there. Login issues. So we've experienced with the vendor some issues with logging in. This is a vendor issue and a known issue that they are working on, and they hope to have a resolution soon. But what happens is, for example, if you register in the portal, in the Citizen Self-Service portal, so the first time you log in, you use the login tool that's on the main screen. So when you go through the registration process, it does ask you for an email address. If you enter your email address, such as myname@gmail.com, for example, and you've used our system previously, or you've been in our 311 system, sometimes it might not recognize that. One of the solutions that they've given us is adding a dot or a dot in that name, in that prefix to the web address anywhere there, and it'll recognize it as a new username. For example, my.name@gmail.com. And you will see on the screen, you saw on the screen before, it truncates your email address to create a username. So if the registration and the email that you used to register in the system was myname@gmail.com, when you come back to log in, your username is simply my name. So hopefully everybody understands that. If it's johndoe@gmail.com, when you come back, it'll just be John Doe. So what we recommend, if you are having those issues, the first step is to come back and use the forgot username tool. And that'll tell you what the system truncated the user to. And then use the password reset tool. And that should help alleviate some things. Obviously, we have a lot of volume in the city, and we have a lot of different companies that run plans. So what happens is if you have a permit address or an email address, excuse me, like permits@abcpermit.com. You might also have permits@miamipermits.com. So that's what's confusing the system. When it goes to truncate it, it's creating that username permits, and now we have lots of users with that same username. So try to use a unique email address, or trying the method for Gmail users of adding a dot, and it will still recognize the email address. You'll still receive the emails. So I think that takes care of login issues. Next, we had inspections. So once you do log into your system and you go to your dashboard and you select the permit that you want to schedule an inspection for, you'll open to the summary screen. The summary screen gives you a good idea of where you're at in your process and what needs work. So always you'll see available actions and what comes next. So that's the best way to know what's next to schedule on your permit, on your issued permit. If you want to see more options, you can go into the inspections page, and that'll show you the past and existing inspections and whether they were approved or partially approved. And the next section is what's available to request. So you can see here we've had several partials that have created the need for another flat roof in progress. You can also see that the roofing final cannot be scheduled yet because there are prerequisites that have to be met. So that would be any of the inspections above. If it does generate multiple inspections, just speak with your inspector out in the field and they'll be able to clean up any of these extras. In some permits, you might have additional optional inspections. Roofing is not a great example, but perhaps you're ready for ceiling grid and insulation. So if those aren't appearing up here, but you want to call them, you would just select the box and select request inspection. Inspections are scheduled on the next business day. So that takes care of inspections. I don't see any questions in the chat or in the questions box. So Mario, if you don't mind, you can pass it off to Kenya. One second as we pass it over. Mario, when you can take the screen.
Give us 1 second. We're trying to share the screen.
Very good. So we are available for questions. If you'd like to type them in the chat box, you may, and we'll review them at the end of the session.
Good morning, everyone. Can you see the screen at this moment?
Not yet. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we do. It was behind another screen.
I'm going to pass it on to Kenya Palao.
Hi, everyone. This is Kenya. I'm the Chief Licensing Officer for the City of Doral, and I will take this moment to explain a little bit the process that we have for how to process your business tax and certificate of use here with the city. So first off, thank you for joining our webinar. So on today's agenda, I'm going to discuss the required approvals that you will need, the forms, how to apply online, how to process your payment, and how to print your license from our online portal.
Kenya, we're still seeing the regular screen, not the display screen.
Okay, give me 1 second.
That's good. We see the screen. You don't have to do presentation mode.
Kenya, if you may, on the presentation on the slideshow on top. all you have to do is untick the presenter view, and that should bring it back to the main screen. On the slideshow tab on the top.
Okay, Mario, Jane, this is Javier Gonzalez. Are you seeing the PowerPoint presentation now?
Yes, from PowerPoint.
Okay, all right, great. So I'll hand it over to Ken.
Okay, so let's start this over. So good morning, everyone. My name is Kenya, and I'm going to provide you the steps on how to require all the approvals, the forms that you will need, how to apply online, how to process your payment, and how to print your licenses from our online portal. Okay. So the first step, you'll always need to contact the licensing division, my email is attached, to find out information on a specific business use in a location. If your type of business requires a zoning review, a preliminary zoning verification form, please see to your left, is provided by the licensing division, which will need to be filled out, turned in to the planning and zoning department, which I've also provided their email. From there, once review is done by the zoning and building department, the licensing division will email applicant with the information to proceed with your business tax and certificate of use process. If any comments have been made by either department, comments must be addressed to move forward. If your process was approved, the licensing division will provide you by email DERM processing form, please see to your left, and the City of Doral application form, please see to your right. These must be filled out and returned by email so the Chief Licensing Officer may review and sign off. Once signature is made by the City of Doral, the applicant must provide the DERM form, and the licensing form will be emailed with a checklist to explain the steps that follow. So at this point, you are now on step 2. On this checklist, you will find the link to be able to process for your fire inspection request. Also in the email, you will be provided a step-by-step on how to process with DERM, as well as a guide provided by DERM on how to apply. So as Jane mentioned earlier, I've provided a step-by-step on how to register. If you have any other questions, you can always email me. And the next step is how to apply online. I will be providing you a step-by-step through the actual CSS portal, but I've also provided here an actual step-by-step on how to provide it yourself. So I'm going to get on to our CSS portal. So once you have created your account, under My Dashboard, you're going to find all these tabs on the top, and you're going to go to Apply. Once Apply comes out, you're going to see Permits, Plans, and Licensing. The tab that you will click will be all the way at the bottom for licensing, and a new page will come out with all the categories that we provide. So you'll look for the one that falls under you, and most of them would be new applications, so you'll click Apply. From there, the requirements would be create your business, so you'll provide if you're a corporation, a liability, LLC, and you'll proceed. From there, you'll attach your location. So let's put, it'll link your location address. And you'll apply. From there, you'll see that your location has been provided, and you'll click next. Here you'll fill out all the information on your company, so it'll be your company name, your business description, the location, the type of classification you are, and a small description of what your type of business is. So from here, so You will always have to click clarification, so please make sure that you go back and you click so. So now you're ready to proceed. From there, an owner and an applicant will be required. If you are the owner and the applicant, that's fine. You can attach yourself twice. From there, it's going to ask you some specific questions: number of employees, hours of operation. Are you sharing this location with any other business? You also need to provide your Fed ID number and your square feet. So from there,
Just a reminder that anything that's red or has an asterisk is required.
thank you, Jane. So here you would provide the square feet that you will have indoor and any outdoor square feet that you will be also be provided. If you have any machines, for example, vending machines, ATM machines, number of spaces that the location is providing you with, number of seats, and indoor and outdoor, this is normally typically for eating establishments. You'll put here number of tables that you are providing, and then since this is a nail salon, you must put that you're having the number of seats, and then here you'll put pressure vessels, yes or no. From here, these are the required application attachments that you must provide. You must provide your corporation, your lease, and the approvals from Miami-Dade. These approvals will be DERMS approval as well as the fire approval. So you'll provide these attachments. You will not be able to proceed without attaching these attachments, so please make sure that you do so. From here, you'll sign off. And at this point, you are ready to submit. I will not be submitting just due to the fact that it would create a license, but this would be the last step for your account and your license to be processed with the city. So from there, once I receive notification that your license has been provided and registered, I will start my application process and I will review. If anything is pending or missing, you will get an email from the licensing division letting you know what you must submit. From here, once you receive an approval from the city, you will also be provided a invoice. And I'm also going to show you step by step on how to pay that invoice. So normally when you go to your dashboard, all the way at the bottom, you will find my licenses. You will click view and you will find here that you have your fees are due. So you will click on the license number for the fees that are due. And you will find at the right-hand corner something that states add to cart. You will add the fees to the cart. And from there, you can check out and pay. Once payment is done, you will provide proof of payment to the licensing division. Your license will be issued, and we will provide you step by step on how to print out your licenses from home. So for printing licenses from home, you will go back to your My Licenses. At this point, it will show up here stating when it would expire. You click on the license number. And then on here, you will find on the right-hand corner a blue printer for you to print. And under attachments, you will find your certificate of use. At this point, you are issued and you can open up your business. Now I'm going to process over to Elizabeth for planning and zoning.
Thank you, Kenya. I'll be going over the process for planning and zoning. Just give me 1 second so I can get everything set up. Once again, good morning. My name is Elizabeth Alvarez, Senior Planner for the City of Doral. This morning, I am going to be discussing step-by-step the online submittal and review process for planning and zoning applications. Today's agenda will be composed of the following items: type of applications available online, where to find the applications, how to apply online, and process to obtain zoning approval card, development order, and letters. In this page, we have the type of applications that are available online, and I will mention some of them very briefly. We have a preliminary zoning verification sheet, request for address assignment, zoning verifications, zoning determinations, site plan review, variances, land use amendments, and rezone. On the next slide, we're going to go over where to find this application. I have included step-by-step where to go, and I am also going to show you guys. So I am in the City of Doral Planning and Zoning website, and where it says I want to apply now, there's a series of applications that you can pick depending on whatever you want to apply for. I am going to go over the zoning verification letter today. Here's a zoning verification letter. The applicant will complete this application. I have already completed an application for myself that I will be completing and submitting through the CSS portal. The next slide is how to apply in CSS online. So the first step is to go to the CSS website, which I'm already logged in, create a citizens access account, which Jane and Kenya have already touched on it. Log into account, select apply, complete the application process, upload the permit application and all other required submittal documents that will be listed, and submit the request and receive confirmation. So let's go over now the process. So I am on the CSS portal. I'm going to go to apply, all, and then I'm going to search for verifications. PZ zoning verification. All of our planning and zoning application process will say PZ in front. So we go ahead and apply. An address is not required. It's required. I'm sorry. You can either do an address or a folio. We understand that in many occasions for this specific application, the property does not have an address, so you could also type your folio. In this case, I'm going to type the City of Doral address. And I'm going to go ahead and add. Now that we have the address where we are requesting the zoning verification for, we can go to the next step, and we're going to write a brief description of what we're asking for. Okay, I have included myself as an applicant. In this case, it's Kenya. And you can also add someone else. You have the ability to add the authorized agent, if there is an authorized agent, the contractor, on-site contact, owner, or owner's representative. In this case, I'm just going to have the applicant. There's going to be some general questions, such as, will you like a physical copy? If you click yes, once the zoning verification has been reviewed and approved by one of our planners, you will receive a physical copy through mail. So in this case, I'm going to put no. And the next question is going to be, is this commercial or residential? I'm going to pick commercial in this case. And then the next step is going to ask you for the application that we mentioned. In this case, the only required document is the application. However, if there's something else that you may want to include, you can do it under other. So here's the zoning verification letter that I completed. And I'm going to attach it and proceed. Now we will go ahead and sign. It's Kenya. And then in here, we're going to see all the information that we have previously added. The location, the basic information, the contact, and the fees are also going to be here. There's also an hourly fee that will be added by the clerk once the application has been completed. And the City of Doral will issue an invoice that will have to be paid before the verification appears online. So the next step, and we can see here the attachments, we see the zoning verification. The next step will be to submit. We're not going to do that because we do not want to create a record at this moment. And now I'm going to go over very quick the dashboard and how it populates. I'm going to go over a pending application, and I'm going to go over an application that has been 100% completed. So let's go over the pending application first. So in here, you're going to see that it has been 120% completed. The zoning verification letter has been submitted. Upfront fees has been paid. There's no fees at this moment, and the zoning verification is scheduled to be completed by 4/28/2021. Once this application is completed and approved by a planner, then the clerk will issue the final invoice, which will be for the hourly rate. The fees will be paid, and then we will make this application available online. Now I'm going to go over a complete application that has been processed, and it's 100% done. Okay, it's taking a little longer than expected. So in here you have all the information, the type of application, the status, which is approved, the apply date, and the assigned to, the person that was assigned to. We have it 100% complete. We have the when everything was done and completed. We received this application on April 2nd. The fees were paid on April 2nd. We processed the application on April 5th. The fees were paid on April 5th, and we issued a zoning verification on April 5th. If you go to where it says attachments, you are going to see the documents that were submitted by the applicant. This is the requested letter, and these are other information that was submitted. And then in here, you're also going to see the zoning verification letter, and it's going to say under notes, it's going to say who it was done by, in case you need to contact the planners or you have any extra questions for us. So I'm going to open it very briefly so you guys can see how it looks. And there it is. This is the letter completed and signed by myself and all the exhibits as well, available online. With this, I conclude my presentation, and if there's any questions or answer, Jane, Kenya, and myself are here to address them.
Looks like we've got a pretty smart crowd. I don't see any questions in the chat or the questions box. All right, Mario, if you can confirm that there's also no questions and I'm looking at the right screens, thank everybody for their,
No
what's that?
questions. No questions are being answered. Nobody has written any.
Awesome. So we'll parse out this video into different sections, and we will post it on the cityofdoral.com/building page. There is a new videos and tutorials page that we've set up with this and some other videos to help you navigate CSS and the new permitting and planning and licensing system. Thank you everybody for presenting and for all their hard work. We hope everybody has a great day. Thank you, Mario.